All right, guys. So I had to recreate all the machines in my other desktop, and I'm remotely connected to that, and the desktop is right beside me. So I can, and what I was saying before was that we can shoot at the end of the class for those many machines. But for the screenshots, you could, those who are not able to follow the lab now, you can take screenshots of my screen where I say they take a screenshot, right? Just put your name in the screenshot as well somewhere. Well, you can write the name or you can put somewhere notepad and put your name and then the screenshot. So I would know that it's your screenshot, although my name will be showing there. For those who are not able to follow the lab because of that error. And maybe VMware did something new because previous batch, this error was still previous batch, the error was not coming. Okay, guys, so let me give you a brief on what we were doing in last class and to continue and cover more and more labs because it's going to get complicated now. And you need to understand exactly how the steps are done and what are the concepts ahead. So you can ask all the questions. Let's create the new virtual machines and configure them. Yeah, we did that in the last class. So lab rules, yeah, that's the I click. Okay, I'll just quickly go to where we were in last week so we could cover more longer labs. Let's explore. Yeah, we were exploring the hypervisor features. Let's create one virtual machine inside one of the hypervisors. This is where we were. So we did explore and talked about the features of the hypervisor. So I'm just gonna put that as green. And let's create one virtual machine inside one of the hypervisor. This is where we were stuck. So I'm just gonna create that. The whole process that we went through installing a Windows is not a big deal. It's how to actually install it inside a hypervisor, ESXi, VMware ESXi hypervisor, how to create a virtual machine inside that, and then install full Windows inside. So some of the students were able to do that too, but some of the students were not able to do, including me. So I'm going to carry on from there, and then it will be recorded. And if there are any questions, let me know. Those who are able to follow, continue follow. Those who were done, so wait for me till I reach there. Then I'll have to show much more longer labs now. Let's create a Windows-based software SAN. Yeah, this is the next stage. Also, let me just put one more objective here. Let's add 9 NICs to ESXi02 and ESXi03. And I'll tell you the reason why later when we are doing that. About the significance of SAN, we already know. Guys, also one more thing. Those who are not able to install Windows inside the this hypervisor, maybe that's the only drawback there, right? But next labs, try to still do with me whatever you can do whenever you're stuck and you get the error, just take the screenshot of the error and I'll know that okay, you were not able to do that ahead. But just not able to install Windows doesn't mean sorry. Yeah, it's such a nice music. I started humming with it. I'm just gonna. Hey, I have a class. Come on, whoever is calling. Okay, so so guys, what I'm saying is those who were not able to install Windows, you can still be able to configure purely VMware stuff, right? So let me just quickly show now how to install Windows and get it recorded, so you will have that in the record. Other than that, I'll just okay. Pragnesh has a question. Yeah.
Yeah, I had just performed the Thursday lab. Uh, on
Mhm,
Friday, I have downloaded only Google Chrome.
mhm.
Then next step is remain. So can I continue with you?
Yeah. Well, Google Chrome was installed, so you were able to remotely connect or not? Like Google
So
Chrome only installed, nothing else done, right? Like the
yeah,
next steps.
Google Chrome. Yeah.
Well, I don't think you will be able to go with us because we have to still remotely connect a lot. through Google Chrome. So you can continue watching the video and follow all the steps at your own pace. But try to understand what's being covered today, right?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sir?
Yeah.
Yes, I was unable to download Google Chrome on Windows 2019.
Mhm.
And what I did is because I have another virtual machine, Red Hat,
Mhm.
on my VMware, what I did is try to connect on my VM through Firefox on the
Mhm.
Red Hat, and it's working fine. I just want
Oh,
to know if it is okay, if I can continue like that.
well, you hurt my feelings by not installing Google Chrome. So let me be sad for a second. Okay, I'm
Okay,
sad. I'm done.
okay,
I'm being sad. Oh, so the thing is, way to go, man. Way to go. That's very good. You improvised, and yes, that's very good. So go
okay,
ahead with the Firefox. In fact, it's gonna be, I heard from students, better experience than Google Chrome, but so far I am having good experience with Google Chrome. So let us know as well, how do you find it, and if you had to add any plugins, especially if you had to add any plugins, let us know, right? Cool.
okay,
Okay, so that's very good. Okay, guys. So you're thinking out of the box, right? So that's the best thing. So I want all to think like this, out of the box, improvise, try to make it happen, but obviously with proper rules. And yes, this is very good. Okay. Um, I'm gonna go ahead, guys, and so this was supposed to be done in last class, so I'm just gonna go ahead a bit faster, and I'll just try to continue with this. We need to remotely connect to each hypervisor to confirm the remote connectivity. Yeah, done, done. Second Nick, done, done, done. Okay, yeah, this was done in last class. I'll just quickly remove that. And yeah, this is what I'm gonna show you, and then I'll remove that too because some of the students were not able to download SQL virtual machine. So I'm going to go back to, maybe I've copied the diagram there. Wow, what a mess. I mean, like, nice diagram. Okay. So yeah, so let me just quickly show you what we were doing, and we can go ahead a bit fast now, but not at not at the cost of not understanding. So I want you to understand what's going on. Hopefully, everyone is able to know what's going on. So I'll just quickly draw this, it's and tell you the next steps, so you would be able to understand. So first, I'm going to do is how to install virtual machine. So from my laptop, I'm going to copy this virtual machine. Uh, how to install Windows inside a virtual machine that is living inside this hypervisor 3. I'm going to do that, right? So in order to do that, I need to copy the ISO of some since we covered most of it, so I'll be a bit fast. Other than, if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll go a bit faster for this. So this is Win 2019. I'll just .iso. So I'm just going to copy this from my laptop to the first virtual machine. And from the first virtual machine, I'm going to connect through Google Chrome or Firefox to E6i3. And I'm going to copy it inside the data store of the E6i3. So this blue thing is data store one. It's always, the name is always data store one. This is just how it is partitioned. And this is phi disk or physical disk. In a production environment, it will be a physical disk. So inside data store one, I'm going to be creating a folder called software, and that's what we did last time as well. So inside this, I'm going to create a folder called software, and inside the software folder, I'll be creating that. I'll be copying Win 2019, Win 2019.iso. Why? Because then the virtual machine can only see whatever is on the data store, right? So I have to put it on the data store in order to for the virtual machine to install, to see it and to attach the ISO to the CD DVD of the virtual machine and then install it. While this is gonna take time, uh, I'm gonna try to explain what is like I've already explained what is software or what is the significance of SAN, but I'm gonna be explaining how to configure software SAN, right? So because it's gonna take time, what's gonna take time? First, the copying of the ISO from here to Windows and then to upload there. With all that time, we're gonna use to understand the concepts of software SAN and also how to configure it, right? So let's configure software. And why are we doing that? Because we need a shared disk over the network and its benefits we talked about last time as well. But let me just initiate the process of copying this Windows Server 19 first to the Win01. So I'm just going to go to my remote desktop here to that desktop, and this is Win01. I'm going to go open this downloads folder here where just Chrome setup is. I'm just going to copy. I'll minimize this VMware workstation because I need to go to the laptop or desktop in my case now, and I'm going to copy that Windows Server 2019 to inside that machine as I explained in the diagram. Copy, downloads. Well, there are lots of solutions written in Google about that error that you were not able to install Windows, right? Let's see who breaks the bubble, because in last batches, few batches, actually pretty much all the batches, there were few students who were troubleshooting pretty much everything. And Google is full of solutions, so they were trying everything. Some of them are now enjoying very good jobs as system administrators or desktop support first, and few of them are now in higher positions. But the thing is, we never give up. We spend a lot of time troubleshooting, looking in Google, because that's what you're going to do when you join a job, right? What? Googling it? Well, yeah. I mean, first you have to know all the concepts and you have to prove your knowledge and experience and skills, especially skills in the interview. But after that, there will be so many tasks given to you during the job that you will have to Google quickly and implement that. I do that all the time. Every IT admin, no matter 50 years of experience he or she has, always have to Google, because it's always totally new scenarios come. But you're so used to searching and troubleshooting that it's part of our IT life. So what I'm saying is that the error was there. So my suggestion is, let's see who breaks the bubble and figures out what was the actual solution for that to install
Also, yes,
Windows. Yeah.
this
Professor, I
ISO.
found one solution for the issue, but I do not know how to implement it. So I'll just post it over here. You can have a look whenever you have time.
That would be a very good idea. Okay, so if you've all found some solution, please post it in the group. Yeah, anyone else?
Sorry, this ISO file you copied from the computer, and where did you copy it to?
Inside the Win01,
Okay.
and I went to just the yellow folder or the file explorer, and this file explorer, I just clicked the downloads folder here and then pasted it here. So,
Oh, okay.
oh wow, I thought it will take time. So it was my laptop that was slow. It's copied already. Wow. Oh, so I have a good desktop now.
The second copy that will evaluate your desktop actually. The copy
Exactly.
from
Okay.
this data store, yeah.
Bring it on, Humber. Now I have a faster desktop.
Great.
Okay. Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and as per the diagram, this part is done. Now I need to connect through Google Chrome to ESXi3, and then I need to upload it. First of all, I'm going to create a store, that software folder inside data store, and then I'm going to upload this Windows Server 19 here, ISO. Okay, so I'll be doing this. So I'm going to remotely connect here, and now. Okay, Google Chrome, because I need it all the time, so I'm just gonna right click here and pin to taskbar, and then I'll go for, there's Armor ESXi01. I just connected to one machine, and that was HTTPS. Yeah. Oh, come on. Okay, store pages on there anyway. So this Control C, I'll go for next tab, and that's gonna be 2. I was at that stage because don't tell my boss, but I took this mini desktop in my bag, and then I connected it to one of my monitors. And while I was working, resolving tickets in the office, I was also reinstalling all the machines, but it was done pretty fast. I mean, it was done like in 40 minutes. Then I just packed it up in my bag and then continued my office work. So, oh, seriously. Okay, 3. So we need to go to 3, right? And proceed. And I need to log into 3 root. We all know that. We have configured that together. And okay, so code project. Okay, Jodi Farhan has actually put some solution there. So sure, we're gonna have a look. If anyone else has a solution, you can keep posting it. It would be good if you could try it as well, but yeah, okay, we'll try it together. But yeah, try to sharpen your troubleshooting skills. So I'm inside E6i3. I need to go to storage, and then I need to go to data store browser. Either I can click here, or I can click on top of the data store here, and inside it also is pretty much same yellow folder data store browser that takes us inside the data store. And then this is what we repeated last time as well, right? So we did create directory, call it software, create directory created. Now I need to upload the ISO from Win01 to ESXi3, right? Supposedly over the network. So upload, it shows me the Win01 folder structure. I copied it inside the downloads folder. There it is. And double click, and it starts now. It's on 0%. So my laptop was really slow.
And these are the same step, right? We did last week.
Exactly the same steps.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Cool. Okay, guys. So this is on 3%, 4%. Yeah, it's faster than my laptop. Definitely, I can see that. But is it fast enough? Let's see. Now, while this is going on, okay, one more thing in IT, and everyone knows that, and that is called. Okay, what is it called? It's a golden word. What is it called? Multitasking. What is that? So, if you also think about it, at one time, human brain can concentrate on any one thing, right? But obviously, we can train it to concentrate and keep on doing simultaneously 2 or 3 tasks as well. So multitasking is an interesting thing in IT if you know what you're doing, if you have all the concepts. But multitasking is not a very popular thing when it comes to, oh, we're learning something new, right? So that's why I don't want you to be confused as well. But then I want to actually save some time as well, or we could discuss another topic. Not bad, 17%. So we can only discuss another topic. I don't want anyone to be confused. What we are actually doing is, or the main lab is, how to install a Windows virtual machine inside a VMware hypervisor. So for that, now this stage is happening and it's being uploaded to the the data store of hypervisor 3. While this is going on, like we can understand another next lab just to understand what we're about to do. And then we're going to switch back to what we were doing. If you think that you're going to be confused because of this switching, then I should not be starting that. If you think that, yeah, let's go ahead and understand the next one. And yes, we understand what's going on here. So when I switch back, we will be still okay and we will understand this one as well. So if you are able to do that, then we're okay. I'm going to start that, but if anyone says, sir, I'm being confused, so I'll just stop and we will wait for this to finish and then the whole lab. Yeah.
Okay, I was was trying to log in to my third machine, but it says
Mhm.
that this site can't be reached.
So that is are you, first of all, the third machine is powered on? Is it green here? Second thing is, are you able to log in from E6i2 and 3? If yes,
No,
then
I was trying
Uh-huh.
third one first, nothing else. So
Oh, okay. So it's all about. So were you able to log in last week?
yes, sir.
Okay, then it's definitely either Win0, any of the machines is off, the hypervisor is off either, or the spellings are wrong here. And you can just ping from here as well. If you know that, you can just go to run and type cmd and then simply ping that machine from Windows machine, which is 192.168.200.3. So I'm able to ping. So are you able to ping? If not, then either you start power on the E6i3 or restart it.
So I need to
So
go to
first,
Google and search for just the name, right? Like nav
Mm,
ESXi03.
so you should be going for HTTPS. It's gonna cut that later, but HTTPS://
Yeah,
until here. You have to exactly with your name, exactly type like this. If you're typing like this,
yeah, that's what
like, yeah, that's what you're doing.
yeah.
And E6i3 is up, is powered on or not?
Yeah, it is
Is it
on.
green?
Okay,
It
yeah.
is.
Because I was logging in and it says that you can. Then I was going back, but now I can see the login screen. Hopefully,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Thank you.
Uh, okay, 52%, not bad. Yep.
I have a question.
Mhm.
By the time you click enter, the HTTPS disappeared and even changed it to small letters.
Exactly.
Is that case sensitive?
Is that so? You're cutting a little and it's not very clear voice, but HTTPS goes away. And then because we did not purchase a security certificate from a public CA, well, CA means the certificate authority, and the certificate comes in like $200 up to $2,000. But once you purchase that and then install it inside hypervisor, then yes, this error goes away. If you don't purchase that, then yes, this error will stay there, and it connects with HTTP, which is less secure of a connection, and it goes away because we did not purchase a security certificate from a CA. That's why it's happening. If that was a question. Right.
And the caps lock,
Okay,
Amir
sorry,
and
cutting.
ESEO, capital letters, now to change it to small letters, right?
If you may type this because I'm not able to understand your. Anyone else able to understand? You can. Anyone else can.
No, sir. Voice is cracking.
It's cutting. Nathaniel, the voice is cutting. Sorry, you can type. Um. Okay, so 71%. So it's not bad actually. Okay, so what we need to do is
Sayed, this virtual
yeah.
machine, the one we created, so this will expire in 60 days?
Yes, this hypervisor will expire in 60 days. So hopefully we finish it before that. And yeah, it's a trial version with full features.
Hello.
Yeah.
Said. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it says my virtual machine will expire in 9 days. I don't know why.
9 days? That's not possible.
Am I
No,
sure
no.
what I'm saying?
Which virtual machine? No, are you talking about this this one, Windows machine 2019
No,
No, right?
not the Windows.
hypervisor?
I'll figure it out. I'll
Like you
just
can share the screenshot and WhatsApp and I can let you know.
okay.
It is VMware. It is a this is a no We didn't get any key.
Yeah,
That's why it
exactly.
is showing expire in 9 days.
No. It's still not going to expire in 9 days. So where are you seeing that? Because I'm in the hypervisor here. And if I go to manage and licensing, this one, oh, not licensing, but yeah, this one. And there you go. It says December 5 is the expiration date. So go ahead and check here. Where? Hypervisor, manage, licensing, expiration date. So December 5, that's still a lot of time, right? Okay, Nathaniel says in the chat, you typed https:// ESXi03, but it changed to ESXi03. Yes, Nathaniel, that was what I was explaining, that it's gonna become automatically lowercase, but also that HTTPS will be gone because we did not purchase a certificate. In fact, let me just show you where do I mean it. So if we are checking, so if I go here and we go for DigiCert, suppose DigiCert is a public CA. DigiCert is a public CA. So this provides what? SSL, right? Secure Socket Layer, SSL. So from here, if you suppose, but DigiCert is actually an expensive one. There are, cheap SSL or cheap SSL. There are many those who provide security certificates, SSLS.com or verisign.com or there. So first you have to purchase a certificate from any one of those. And what are those? So they start with this rate, $46 per year or $38 per year, and then $1,000 dollar as well. There are different prices for different types of security, in-depth security. But once you purchase it and add it where? So add it to, there was that certificate adding. If I go to security, yeah, there you go. And then first you purchase it, then you import new certificate, and then once that certificate is added here with this name, so you have to put in the certificate this exact name. Then they issue a certificate for you, and then this HTTPS will stay here with green. It will be green. So this means that there's a certificate and you can trust this site. So this is for just the public, for the users, end users, or for whoever's connecting, that yes, you can trust this site. If this is crossed here, obviously, then you cannot trust this site, right? So Nantil says now that, I mean, the capitals changed to small a to okay. So well, what I explained was about the security certificate and how to get it and where to get it. But yes, this is by default, this is automatic, Nathaniel. So this is something by design from Google Chrome. I mean, we cannot control it. Second thing is, it doesn't matter, it still works fine. Even if it changes from capital to lowercase, it works fine. Okay, so it's not case sensitive to the access URL, right? Okay. Well, okay. So here, now what I was doing was, yeah, I think it's done. If I go there, okay. Hey, I'm just, tapping that desktop. Hey, well done, man. Oh, well done, desktop. It's not a man. So the thing is, this stage is also done. We can go even faster now. So once the ISO is in the dash store, the next stage is to just create a virtual machine and attach it to the ISO. And last time we did that in the video as well. So I'm just going to create a virtual machine now. But before that, guys, this virtual machine will take forever if it is on 4 GB. We do not want to have it on 4 GB, right? So what we did last time was that we converted this to whatever we could give. So I have a 32 GB RAM, so I can take benefit of that, right? So what I can do is I can just put it to 16 GB the hypervisor RAM temporarily, right? Temp. So hypervisor RAM 16 GB, and the other ones, just for the duration of the installation of Windows, we're going to change it to 16 GB hypervisor, so we could give the virtual machine inside 8 GB RAM, right? And shut down these guys, right? So shut down this machine, shut down this machine. First machine never shuts down. It's providing you the infrastructure services. This is like an oxygen for you. This is the most important machine here. So Win01 stays up. E6i1 temporarily shuts down. E6i1 and 2 temporarily shuts down. E6i3 we're remotely connected. I mean, but obviously in order to change the RAM, we need to shut it down as well. We need to change the RAM, but power on only E6i3 and not E6i1 and 2, right? And then we're going to connect again and we're going to start the installation of Windows, right? So this I explained last time as well, so I'm just going to go ahead and implement that now. The first thing would be, did I click the add? Seriously? Okay, close. And then I'm going to shut down ESXi1 temporarily, but major task is coming for this. So I could just suspend it as well. It's going to go maybe faster.
Said if we have enough RAM, then we don't have to shut down, right? Like I have 32.
32, like you, if you have given here 16 GB, and yeah, like 44 GB, you don't have to shut down if you don't want to. Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
So E6i3, I'm gonna go for shutdown properly because I need to change RAM. Others I just suspended, but when you suspend a machine, you cannot actually change a RAM or any virtual hardware. So you have to shut down properly to actually change that. So I'm just gonna E6i3 is now shut down as well, and as per the plan, I'm gonna just click the 16. It's gonna go up to the 16 GB, and we're good. Press OK, and I'm gonna power it on again, and it's gonna start. Okay, so while it is star and ping, what our plan now is, as soon as it starts, I'm going to remotely connect from Win01 to ESXi3, and I'm going to then create a virtual machine, attach the ISO to it, and start the installation of Windows 2019 here. Okay, it's pretty much there. Wow, fast, man. Now we know that this laptop sucks because that desktop is amazing. Okay, so on that E6i3, I'm just going to refresh that because I restarted it, so it's gonna, I guess, kick me out. Yeah, it kicked me out. And root, and then small ABC, capital ABC, shape 123 without shape 123. We log into that. We log into that, and then I'm gonna start the creation of virtual machine and attach the ISO to it, and well, start the installation of Windows Server 2019. Now ESXi3, I'm connecting, and there's a blue donut here, and it's blue do not. Seriously, why is it not connecting? Where ESXi3 UI? Really? It is powered on. Yeah. E603, 200R3. Yeah, everything's okay. Oh, it's still blue on it. I'll log in again. If that doesn't get convinced, then I'm just gonna refresh that browser and push it. And there we go. Okay, now we're inside. So I'm going to just check again. I'm going to go to storage. I'm going to go to the data store browser, and in the software, yep, it's still there. Very good. Should be. Now I'm going to go to virtual machines as last time I did, and I don't want to see that error. If that error happens here, then I'm going to throw my desktop from the 8th floor window, and then I'm going to go down at once like a Superman and catch it as well, because I don't want to destroy it. Okay, I'm just going to create
Yeah,
virtual
Sunil,
machine.
one question before you do that.
Yeah.
I created my machine last week, this one, so I have 4 GB RAM. Is that enough, or do I need to increase it?
Okay, 4 GB RAM for the hypervisor or the
No.
virtual machine?
The virtual machine inside hypervisor.
Yeah. And you were able to install the whole thing successfully?
Yes.
Which is good. Okay, that's very good. Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
We had actually 2 objectives here that need to be met. I think students were able to install the virtual machine, but you also know the objective here. Objective number 1 was install VMware tools in this machine and go to CMD and check. I think some of the students were reporting that they saw the 200.50 IP as well. That's what you're going to get from this virtual machine. So these 2 objectives, if these are met, then yes, our lab, this particular lab is then done. So those who have installed the machine, yes, go ahead and install the VMware tools, or just wait for me now. I'm just coming there. And yeah, IP config, you have to just check what IP you got automatically from DHCP inside this virtual machine. I'm going to go back and start. Okay, so create new virtual machine, create new virtual machine here, select that. Later, we're going to go for OVF and OVA as well, which is just to import or export virtual machine. I'm going to click next. So your first name, VM01. We talked about this compatibility and backward compatibility as well with all those older versions of VMware, but this is pretty much the history of VMware in this dropdown. These are the versions that you should know before the interview, that VMware starts from 4.x, then 5.0 came, then 5.1 came, then there was no 5.2 or 5.3 or 5.4. So if somebody in the interview tries to confuse you, so did you work on ESXi 5.4? And if you snap right away, yes, it was very good version and it was pretty fast at that time. Ha ha ha. And they will know right away that you don't know about the history of VMware, right? So 5.1 and then 5.5 came, then 6.0, and then 6.5, 6.7, and then 7.0 came, right? So you should know the history. And then guest OS. So I'm just going to go for Windows, and then I'm going to go for Windows Server 2019. I think that was also here. They have 2021 as well, but it doesn't exist. Actually, it's 2022, right? Anyway, 2019 is here. I'm not going to enable this because enable Windows virtualization based security. Because we're not, this hypervisor is not directly installed on a bare metal hardware. So I'm just going to click next. And data store is offering a total capacity of 71 GB, which could be increased later as well. I'm going to click next. And okay, I was scared to death if that same error did not come, that it does not support Intel VTX, because all 2 or 3 previous courses I did on this desktop, so it was okay. I'm going to go down to what we selected, 60 GB, sorry. Numlog. Oh, what happened to my numlog? Okay, 60 GB. And yeah, that's the luxury I can afford now. So it's going to be 8 GB RAM, right? Or 4 GB is also okay, perfectly fine. I just want to give it more so it could finish earlier. 8 GB RAM, 60 GB disk. We're kind of good, and make sure that you select thin provision, otherwise it's going to take a lot of space of your disk. Suppose by mistake, last class, some of the students, if 1 or 2 of them selected thick provisioned, and you're running out of space, so you can just delete this virtual machine. I just wanted to show you how to create it. We don't need it throughout the course. If you selected thick provision, if you selected thin provision, you're okay. Okay, guys. Another very important thing was to talk about to connect the ISO, because we copied it in the data store. So host device is just that physical server device, but we don't have that. So we're going to go for data store ISO. We have an ISO inside the data store, and that's the same data store browser. software, and I'm going to select this, right? Once you select this, that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and select. It's now attached to the CD DVD of this particular virtual machine. I'm going to go next and finish. And then power on. I was scared to death. Okay, so I'm going to click this thumbnail to make that picture bigger, or thumbnail bigger, so I could see what's going on. And yeah, it was asking press any key to continue on the keyboard, but I was late a little. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the actions here, and I need to restart this machine, right? So how do I do that? Go to the actions, go to guest OS, and then there's a send keys, and then this keys come. So again, guest OS, send keys, and then control or delete, right? Once I send that, it goes again, press any key and key on the keyboard. So first I clicked this screen quickly, then I clicked and then I press any key on the keyboard. So select this, and control alt to take out, say pretty much the same thing that we did on the hypervisor as well. Now I'm just gonna.
Sorry, sir. So when we go to send keys, so we need to press Control, Alt, and Delete, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks.
And Sayed, sorry,
Then
you said you have to select thick provision, not thin provision, right?
Thin provision, yeah.
Thin provision, okay.
Yeah, first one. And once you press Control or Delete, you have to be very quick after that. Click the mouse right away, and then press on any key on the keyboard right away. If you're fast, then
Not
yeah.
responding. I can't click any keys on my keyboard. Like I'm pressing the keys, but it's not responding.
But did you select the screen first? After
Yes.
the Control or Delete, you have to click the mouse on the black area of the screen. You have to keep doing that again. Like go back to actions, and then go back to guest OS, go back to send keys, and then click Control. As soon as you do that, at once start clicking with the mouse on that within the machine area, right? So within the VMware area, your first name VN01, only this area click, and then you have to be very quick in pressing the keyboard key as well.
I got it.
Okay, cool.
I got it. Thank you.
Okay, guys. So yeah.
Sorry, sir. What will be the disk size? It shows that the disk size is specified is greater than the amount available in the data store.
So you're talking about the disk size that is, like you get an error?
Yeah.
Can you share that on the WhatsApp or?
Yes, I just share the messages here in chat box.
This size specified is greater than the amount available in the data store. You cannot, yeah. So you can just give the size as 60 GB, 60, right?
60 GB also I tried. 90 GB tried.
Okay, then go over 50 GB.
No, sir, same.
So last week it happened with me as well, because it was showing
yeah.
me the maximum I can give 65 GB, 65.8. Then I chose 65, and it allowed me to go further, but when I restarted, but it's not showing the Windows thing like we're doing right now. Then I delete that machine and created another machine with the like less GB, like 60 GB that time. So just make sure you have 8 or 10 GB less.
Yeah, that's very good idea. So,
yeah, now it's okay, sir. Now it's okay.
Okay.
Cool. Very good. Thank you. Okay, so here, there's a problem. I mean, I am moving mouse slightly and it's going really far away, and it's not really in my control right now. This mouse is not in my control, and this happens as long as VMware tools are not installed or enough RAM is not given. Although 8 GB is enough, but still this mouse is giving me a really hard time. So I'm just gonna try to click next instead of selecting that Windows. And it's as if this mouse is under the influence. Okay. I think I clicked. Okay. Anyway, so I'm gonna press tab. let's go old school and press spacebar to select next. Then just press enter on the install now. Now I'm keyboard based even on Windows because the mouse is not really in my control right now, and it happens. That's why more RAM is always required. Okay, I'm gonna press down arrow and select the second one, 2019 standard evaluation desktop experience. Enter. And press tab on the keyboard. Tab again. Tab accept, spacebar to accept, and tab again, and spacebar to click next. For the upgrade and custom, down arrow, it's on custom, spacebar to select. Okay, nothing to do here. Tab, 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 and then it's on next now. I'm gonna press spacebar. Whoa, seriously. Now it has started installing the Windows. Okay, I think it's going to be pretty fast on this one as well. So any questions? %. Okay, so it's going to be even bigger challenge to once the Windows is installed fully, the mouse is still going to be very difficult to handle. So I'll have to go keyboard based just to install VMware Tools and restart the Windows. After VMware Tools gets installed in this Windows, then I will be able to control the mouse properly. So I can just upgrade the objectives here. Install VMware Tools if the mouse is under control. Otherwise, leave it. Second thing is, if you're able to open with keyboard mouse only, this go to CMD and then run ipconfig, then you can know. Even that, if that is not possible, if this is not possible because the mouse is not working, then there's another solution. Then go to your DHCP server on Win01 and check if any client device has taken the IP from DHCP. So you can even know from the server side if any device took the IP. Because guys, it's pretty tricky just to handle Windows environment with keyboard mouse, with the keyboard keys, right? It's very tricky. So those who are new to Windows, even they will not be able to do that easily. So I'll just try to show you here where I'm going on tab, 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 and press spacebar and enter key combination just to reach that VMware Tools in the CD and try to install it. Okay. And second thing is, if I go to actions here, there's that install VMware Tools, right? So when Windows is fully installed and finally restarted and it's stopped at the login screen, then I'm gonna click this option, install VMware Tools at that time, and then it's going to, so Navdeep says installation done. I think your virtual machine mouse is working fine. This means, so that's good.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. And the username is administrator by default, and the password, whatever password you give during the, did we give any password? Oh, it's gonna ask for a password, right? So just go ahead and give the password. Yes, Nase says the IP showing 200.192.162.50. Exactly. That IP needs to be showing. Moise says VM01 200.50. Very good, very good. That's the IP we need to see inside this virtual machine. So if you're logged into the virtual machine, just simply go CMD. Also install member tools and restart, and then CMD.
Sayed, I'm getting some error message I sent on WhatsApp. Can you check that error?
WhatsApp. Okay, let me try that. The error is. Let me just drag this here so everyone can see that there's no more space for virtual disk. You might be able to continue this session by freeing the space on the relevant volume and click trying. And this is that virtual machine. So, that virtual machine, if you have given E6i3 hypervisor, if you have given 200 GB, it is already thin provision. Did you give 200 GB there, Suresh?
I gave 100 GB.
Okay, 100 is also good enough. But I think you may have selected here thick provision.
No, I selected the first option, thin provision.
Okay, thin provision, yes, then it is good. And it should not run out of space unless your laptop itself ran out of space. So can you check your laptop space as well? If it's full to 250 GB, then we have a big issue. Then you have to delete something.
Okay.
And,
sir, I have reached home now. Can you please tell me how to install the first one at the first step, please? I have already done the virtual machine. I'm left with the guest OS, something like that.
Are you on this page where I am right now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then follow me, folks.
Okay,
Okay,
sir.
that's very good that you've already done. Very good.
So
okay, so I'm just give the password, class password or whatever you're doing. Tab. Okay, enter. So you know why it just happens with me that the mouse is not good. Otherwise, some students it's just working fine. But with me, majority of the time it happens that the mouse is not good until I install the VMware tools, right? So I'm going to go to Actions, and I'm going to go to Guest OS, and I'm going to install VMware tools, right? So I'm going to just click it, and then I'm going to try to go inside. So I clicked it, that's it. So it's mapped to the CD/DVD of this virtual machine. I now need to log into this machine. How do I do that? I'm going to go Actions again, go to Guest OS again. This time I'm going to go to Send Keys, and then I'm going to click Control Alt Delete. Okay, Mihir also says 250. Way to go. Cool. Very good. Very good. See, mouse. Really. After doing this lab, I always have more respect for the mouse. Okay.
After Control Alt and Delete, I have to press OK.
After Control Delete, yes.
It's asking the user's password must be changed before signing in. OK. Or cancel.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and put the current password and put the new passwords, whatever you want.
Okay.
Strange. Okay, guys, I'm inside this machine, and as I said, that I slightly move my mouse and it just moves and across the entire screen. I'm going to make this VMware Workstation screen bigger. This is the full screen button, this one. And okay,
sorry, sir. I can't press OK because now mouse or keyboard, nothing is working, and I'm selecting from Actions, but I can't find anything.
Yeah, so I'm going to do the stunt. If anyone is able to do that, good luck. Otherwise, don't spend too much time on this. It's not that critical as the next labs are. This is just installing Windows, and out of control mouse can really waste our time. So my suggestion is just see this and try it if you can do it within specific time. Otherwise, we switch to the other labs quickly. Okay. So
or else she can release the mouse and try to install the VMware tools.
Yeah, so the VMware tools are there. I mean, see this actions, guest OS, and I click the install VMware tool, so they are mapped to the CD DVD of this machine right now. It's just the and I need to reach this yellow folder in the machine, this one, and then I need to just simply start the setup of the VMware tools, right? So that's the challenge here. As soon as I click that, so it clicked actually, and it's inside this, and I'll click this, and then after that I'm on the Mercier tab. So if I down arrow, oh wow, I'm already there. Down arrow, right arrow to expand that, down arrow, down arrow, right arrow, or I'll press enter, and then press tab to go to the next screen. Oh, thank God, it all worked. Okay, so I'm on 64-bit, down arrow, and press enter. There we go. Oh, okay. So Navdeep, you have installed, I think, the command prompt version of Windows, which is also okay. Just type ipconfig there, and you're good. Just type ipconfig command and see what IP it took, and you're already done with the lab, this particular lab. But you installed the wrong version. You did not install the graphical user interface version, the GUI version. You installed the command prompt version. Anyway, it's, installing Windows is not the purpose of this. I'll click that. Oh, mouse is still kind of under control. Kind of, but if I slightly move it, it's right on the thing that I want to click.
Excuse me, sir. On which step are you now? Like the DVD you have opened and the setup you have just launched. What is that?
You're installing VMware tools.
But what did you do with the action button and guest?
Okay, see this
also? Yes.
actions, and then go to guest OS, and then
install. Yes, already.
Yeah, just click this. If you already clicked this, then you have to reach here where I just reached now. So you have to click this yellow folder, and then go to the CD DVD, and you have to run setup 64. You have to just press enter or double click the. Yeah.
There I have just set up no, not 64 and.
Yeah, then. No, but you already clicked the VMware tools, right?
Yes.
Okay, then just double click the setup file. I hope this is not the setup of the Windows, because setup 64 is the name of the file here. If you don't see that, then go ahead and click the VMware tools again.
Sayed, I'm reinstalling the machine. Just one question: the compatibility, which one we choose? ESXi, which version?
It's ready for me. 7, which is selected by default, which is there.
Okay, thank you.
Cool, welcome. Okay. So installing VMware tools. Please wait while setup wizard installs VMware tools. And once it is installed and restarted, then, it starts acting like a normal Windows, like the mouse starts working. Okay, so Navdeep shows the other screen, which has ipconfig and 50 IP, so you're good. It got the IP from DHCP. So guys, here in the diagram, the objective is first was to install VMware tools, but the second one is DHCP. Why? Just to check the ipconfig file, ipconfig result. So this proves that this virtual machine has communicated through a network card here. And from this network card, it went to the network card of the first machine. And from there, it went to the DHCP and requested an IP, and the DHCP just replied back with an IP address. So this just shows us that the whole network environment till now is working fine, right? So that was important. IP assigned to VM0150. Moises, okay, yeah. So Amir says, yep, those were the ones. So okay, so I'm gonna go back here. Yeah, finally, VMware tools is finished, and I'm gonna restart this. So now when it comes back, the mouse should be okay.
Is it typical or complete installation? Typical, okay.
Mm-hmm. So once it restarts, so that was the lab for how to install a virtual machine inside hypervisor with Windows inside. And yeah, thank God. Now my mouse is working fine. So I'm just gonna go actions, go to guest OS, go to send keys again, Control Alt Delete. Now mouse is really going where I want it to go, wherever I want it to go. Okay. New respect for the mouse. Yes, okay. And then I install Humber tools. Can I make it full screen? Oh, it goes full screen. Amazing. Whoa. Serious. It went full screen and it has covered that area.
Try escape. Try escape.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, there it is. You know, this, yeah. Now it's, yeah, but I also, you're right. I should have tried escape as well. And okay, so I would just want it to be, it does not expand customize way. Oh, there it is. If I can just make it bigger than, oh, that's very good. So the new virtual machines are actually very good, and VMware Tools really makes a lot of magic work. Second thing quickly, what I'm going to go for, because we have much more important labs ahead of us. CMD, I'm just going to go there and then type what? ipconfig. Okay. ipconfig. All right, so we get the IP50. So guys, that's the screenshot we need to take, which shows the virtual machine, which shows that virtual machine was created inside the hypervisor, and hypervisor is inside our VMware workstation. So it's a nested virtualization. So I'm just gonna take a screenshot of that. Those who are not following, take a screenshot of this. Those who are following, take a screenshot of your own IP 200.50.
I have a question, so please.
Yeah.
I'm getting a message. Everything is okay on my side, but I'm getting a message like another user has a console session open to this virtual machine.
Yeah, this does shows, but it's not exactly, you know, what we think it is. Like nobody else is connected, and sometimes some of the services are running in the background that this warning thinks is another user remotely connected. So that's why it says that. We can ignore that safely.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just gonna paste that screenshot here, and screenshot 1, you can label that VM created inside E683. Oh, wow, that was from last week. Okay, so VM created inside E683. Yeah, you can just label that. So that's the screenshot here, and I'll take the screenshot of the screenshot, and let's go for more important, much more important lab than this. And that is how to configure software SAN. Okay, so I put a sample of the screenshot there as well. But your screenshot should have somewhere beside, when you're taking a screenshot, just open a notepad and put your name there and then take a screenshot of my screen, right? You can quickly do that. Okay, guys, so let's go ahead with our next scenario, which is much more important than this. And that is how to install the software SAN, and I did not put in the objectives. Okay, so this is done. Yeah, that's the next slide. And we last class we talked about the importance of software SAN or SAN itself. It was very critical. We talked about that if the data is saved. So that's the diagram. If you have a SAN solution, $80,000, $200,000, $500,000, even $1 million for very big companies, So you would have a disk coming from over the network connected to these hypervisors, right? So those disks are called LUNs or logical unit numbers. So LUNs are coming from over the network. What's the benefit of disks coming over the network while we still have disks here locally also available? The benefit is, as we said in the last class, that if the hypervisor goes down, the local disks are also not accessible, right? While if the hypervisor goes down, the disks over the network, if you had saved virtual machine and its data on the disks over the network, then when the hypervisor goes down, the data was never inside the hypervisor. The data was always on a SAN, right? And that SAN LUNs or remote disks over the network or shared disks over the network are remotely connected to other hypervisors as well. So this machine was connected from this hypervisor to this LAN or shared disk over the network, right? But this shared disk is also mapped to this hypervisor. This shared disk is also mapped to this hypervisor. Or if there were 200 more hypervisors, suppose, so this one disk was shared to all 200 hypervisors. Why? Because if the virtual machine was running out of this hypervisor and this hypervisor shuts down for some reason or crashes, then this virtual machine could be started on this hypervisor because its files are still safe and they are safely available on the shared disk or the network or LAN on top of SAN, right? So because they're on the network, this machine is always safe even if the hypervisor is crashed. These machine files could be started and it could be started on this hypervisor or this hypervisor as well, while this remains crashed, right? So, and the second thing is that we can actually migrate a virtual machine from, that was the second diagram here, we can migrate a virtual machine from one slow hypervisor to a faster hypervisor, right? So this hypervisor has CPU and RAM running up to 90%, and this hypervisor has free CPU and RAM, 50% of it is available. So you can migrate a virtual machine thanks to the SAN. You can migrate a virtual machine with users even working on it, with users even remotely connected to it. You can migrate a virtual machine from one hypervisor to another. That is thanks to SAN, because the heavy virtual disk does not move. Only the small memory content or small files of the virtual machines, they move. So they move fast because they're small in size. The huge size of the virtual disk, it remains on this shared LAN or shared disk over the network. And that shared disk is attached to this hypervisor. And that shared disk is attached to this hypervisor as well, same. So that's why this virtual disk can be accessed from this hypervisor. This virtual disk can be accessed from also this hypervisor. So the virtual machine simply moves. When it reaches here, it cuts off its connectivity to this disk through this hypervisor, it cuts it off. When it reaches on this hypervisor, it just reconnects right away in milliseconds. So it really moves fast from one hypervisor to another without moving the huge disk of 200 GB or 100 GB size, right? That is only possible when you have SAN or virtual SAN or software SAN, right? Some kind of SAN solution or storage area network solution, right? So otherwise it's not possible. So in professional environments, you will see the SAN solution. Now, that's what we are about to create, right? So the significance is again there. But what we're going to do is, what our plan is, we will install Windows-based software SAN. And we will be creating 3 disks. You can create 3 disks, 13 disks, 30 disks, 300, 3,000 disks, up to you, right? For no particular reason, I'm creating 3 disks. I could create 2, I could create 4 as well, right? So we will be creating 3 disks and we'll map. Okay, basic objective is create 3 disks, convert 3 disks. Okay, I'll go step by step. We'll be creating 3 disks on Win01. We will install a feature called iSCSI on Windows machine. And then I'll be explaining that now. We will convert the local Windows disk to iSCSI disks. Once the disks are converted to iSCSI disks, we can share them over the network to any hypervisor. So I'm going to go back to the diagram here. And what we are planning to do is, let me create a more cleaner diagram. In fact, this whole diagram, I will copy here. This was our previous slide. All right. Okay. Now I'm gonna go for a new diagram and okay. So here, yeah. What we're gonna do is we're gonna create 3 disks here. 3 disks here and 3 disks here, right? And those disks will be formatted with NTFS partitions. Format, right? NTFS. So these are like Windows based disks. And then once format NTFS, then convert each disk to iSCSI disk. Now, what is iSCSI disk? So iSCSI is the storage protocol over the network, which basically means that if iSCSI is being used, then a disk which was locally being used by this machine, once it is converted to iSCSI disk, it could be shared over the network to any of the hypervisors, right? So then we convert the second disk to iSCSI disk. As soon as you convert that, so with the help of iSCSI protocol, so first you map the disk here, right? Big thanks to iSCSI protocol that whatever data you put on top of this travels over the network and gets saved on its actual physical location. So if iSCSI protocol was not there, so data would not be traveling over the network through a mapped disk to the actual disk. So this is just a mapping, or this is just a shortcut of this disk that when you put something here, obviously it has to travel over the network to reach to be saved here, right? So this is all possible because of the iSCSI protocol. Second thing is there's fiber optic. We talked about that before as well. And then there's iSCSI. So iSCSI works on Ethernet network as well, which is, you can, if you cannot afford the more expensive fiber optic network or fiber optic equipment, then you can go for Ethernet equipment as well. So iSCSI protocol is used on Ethernet network, which is, our network is Ethernet and it's not fiber optic, it's not fast. And the network cables that you buy commonly from the shops, they are just Ethernet cables. So it works on for low budget companies which cannot afford fiber optic equipment, like maybe I've shown you the pictures before as well, like the fiber optic switches, network cards, cables, obviously, etc. So if we try to just check it out, so fiber optic equipment for virtualization. So it's just a collection of equipment there. So you would have to use fiber optic cables like this and fiber optic switches. So that would be the fiber optic switch that you have to purchase through this. It's just still going through. This is the Ethernet cable. These are the Ethernet cables, the slow ones, right? And these are the fiber optic cables, right? So, and there you have to have special switches for those. Obviously, the more expensive switches that take that connection. And these are there are different types of fiber optic cables here. If you've done A+ course, you would know in depth, in detail, how do they work and how fast they are, right? And the server side, you have to go for network cards that support the fiber optic cables and the switches that are fiber optic, specifically supporting fiber optic switches, right? So the whole equipment is kind of expensive. And if for big banks or companies, yes, they can afford that. Otherwise, smaller companies go for Ethernet switches like this one. Well, that's a very small one, but Ethernet cables like this are supported there, right? So, okay, so we can use, so Jules says in the chat, we can use this code WSC3750G12SS. Whoa, okay. Yes, so the switch that supports that module for fiber optic cables and connectivity, yes, you're right. It only take SFP. There you go. So we are hearing from the experts right away. So definitely here we cannot use fiber optics, so we're gonna go for iSCSI. We are in a virtual environment, right? So here also it has to support virtual iSCSI protocol. So we could actually build a SAN, and it should work like a SAN, the software SAN, right? So the plan here is that we're going to be creating 3 disks now in this machine, because we're going to use the first machine for fiber optic. Not fiber. Actually, did I say fiber? Okay, we're going to use the first machine for this purpose, software SAN, right? And some kind of SAN has to be there to really implement all professional features of VMware, right? So we're going to go for software SAN. And then for that, we're going to be installing 3 disks. It could be 4 disks. It could be 2 disks as well. And then first we're going to format the disk. Then we're going to install the feature called iSCSI in the Windows environment. Then we're going to go for converting each disk. And you have to be very, very careful here. Like one small tiny mistake, and yes, the whole software SAN will not work. Or then obviously we have to T-shoot. So we're going to add 3 disks. We're going to convert each disk to iSCSI. When we are converting the disk to iSCSI, we will be telling it that over the network, we're going to be mapping you to 3 hypervisors. We're going to map the first disk to 3 hypervisors. We're going to map the second disk to 3 hypervisors. And then we're going to map the third disk to the 3 hypervisors. If there were 4 hypervisors, we would have mapped all 3 disks to all 4 hypervisors. But if there were 200 hypervisors, we would have mapped all 3 disks to all 200 hypervisors, right? So whichever hypervisor you want to take, whichever hypervisor you want to take part in vMotion, the migration of virtual machines, or when the hypervisor crashes, that the machine could be still restarted on the other hypervisor. If you want the hypervisor to do that, you have to map the LONs or SAN disks to those hypervisors. Okay, so we're going to map each disk to each hypervisor. That's what I'm saying, right? Okay, once that is done, then we're going to create data store on top of that. So the recommendation always is to create a virtual machine on top of LON-based data stores, not local disk-based data stores, but the LONs or shared disks over the network-based data stores, right? So we're going to be creating data stores on top of that, and then we're going to be creating some virtual machine. Also, we're going to give the size here as just to make the size different from our local disk, which is 200 GB. We have given to the local disk, we're going to give here 500 GB. Because it is thin provision, we can give any size to this disk, right? So because it is thin provision, we can give any size to this disk, and it's not going to take any space on your physical laptop unless you install some software that takes space. So okay, so that's the plan here, and it has to be done obviously step by step. Right after we are done with that, then we're going to go for 9 network cards here, 9 network cards here. I'm going to give you the reason why, and then hopefully we have if we have enough time, I think we should have, then we're going to be deploying the most important virtual machine of this course, and that would be the VCSA, and that has to be deployed on top of data store that is LON-based data store or shared disk over the network-based data store, right? So that's how things will go on. Let's now start creating this according to our plan. So I'm going to go to Win01 here, and I'm going to create 3 disks. Also, guys, we remember that we have given here 16 GB RAM just to make it faster. So we've done all that. We can just shut down that machine. We can put this RAM back to 4 GB, and we can start the other machines as well, the hypervisors, which were shut down, and then we can carry on with this task. So in fact, what I'm going to do is first let put 4 GB RAM back on all 3 hypervisors and power them on first, and then continue with software SAN steps. Okay, because software SAN will be sharing disks with all 3 hypervisors, so they have to be powered on and reachable over the network to map the disks. Okay, so I'm going to go back here, and yeah, this is done. And if I go back here to this, it has kicked me out. So I'm just going to kick myself in. And small ABC, capital C, shape 1, 2, 3, without shape 1, 2, 3. And yeah, it kicked me out from here as well. Seriously. Okay. And kicking myself here as well. So I read the machine. I don't want it to be started. So I'm just going to select this machine and shut down, or go inside the machine or shut down, or just select the machine, shut down. Or if it's not shutting down, I'll just click power off, right? Yes. So it is now powered off. Now I'm going to shut down this hypervisor as well. So I'm going to go to the hypervisor level, right click, power, and shut down guest. Because I need to change its RAM, so I need to shut it down. RAM back to 4 GB from 16 GB. Others, well, when this is down, then I'm going to power on others. Others were already on 4 GB, so we're good. It's down. Okay, good. Edit virtual machine. Go back to 4. Power on all 3. Power on. Oh, one mistake I did. Well, it's not kind of like I shut down the machine, right? But the machine inside the ESXi03 hypervisor that virtual machine RAM was, in my case, 8 GB, while the whole hypervisor RAM now is 4 GB. So I cannot start that machine. I have to remember that, or whenever next time I connect to this hypervisor, I need to go back inside and change the RAM of that machine down to 2 GB maybe. Okay, so this is powered on, this is resumed, this is resumed. So all three hypervisors are powering on. Okay, our next step. So hypervisors are done. I'll just move this step up a little.
Sayed, before we start, one question.
Yep.
So I couldn't install on hypervisor 3, so I cannot continue from here, right? Or can I?
You could not install hypervisor 3. Well, you can continue with, yeah.
Windows on hypervisor 3.
Oh, that is not really important. So if you were not able to, it's okay. It doesn't matter. You just know how to do it, which is okay. So continue with what we are doing now, and yes, you should be able to continue now, regardless of.
Okay, I should be okay from here to just to follow you from here. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay. So guys, those who were not able to install Windows in last class and this class, forget that and continue with me here. And yes, it's okay to continue now because it's purely VMware side now, right? Okay, so let's go ahead. So this means everyone can jump in now. First thing is done, this one. Now, second thing is we will install Windows-based software SAN. Yeah, and these are the sub steps. And yep.
So before, as you said that the other virtual machine inside the virtual machine have 8 GB RAM, right? So do we need to change it before shutting it down, or?
If you are already there, yeah, go ahead and change it. You have to first shut down that machine, then change its RAM back down to 2 GB, and then shut down the hypervisor. Otherwise, after you power on the hypervisor, you can do that at that time as well.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, here we will install the Windows-based software SAN. Yeah, we will be creating 3 disks on Win01. We're gonna do that now, right? Okay, I have to be a bit more detailed. We will format all 3 disks one by one, and then we will install a feature called SCSI and we will convert. Yeah, okay, we're good. So that is how it is. Okay, I'm gonna go back here and I'm gonna go to Win01 now, and I'm going to add the 3 disks, 500 GB each, as we decided, or did I not put it here? So we'll be creating 3 disks on Win01, and the size will be 500 GB each.
The laptop from Humber we have, those have only 256 GB RAM, sorry, hard disk, SSD.
Well, Suresh, there's a magic word called thin provision.
Okay, sure.
I've been saying that since the start of the course. Why you ask this question now?
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Okay, welcome. So here, we can even give 1 terabyte. It's not gonna even take, maybe one kilobyte is gonna take on your disk, but not more than that. If there's no software installed inside, it's gonna take even less than 1 kilobyte. So okay, 500 GB each, thin provision. Like I'm gonna go back here. Win01. So if we right click, we're pretending that we're going to the data center. We are shutting down the physical server. We're adding some more disks here. In fact, in a production environment, what it will be is that you're going to SAN and you're adding more disks there or LANs there. That will be then mapped over the network, and that procedure in fact is a bit different. There's that worldwide number, WW number, there that you need to give to the disks. Adding ones to span, maybe they cover that. Okay, yeah, so that's still, yeah, the numbers, the worldwide numbers that they give there, and that's what they're showing. But the physically, what they are supposed to show is show that what they're not showing. Yeah, volume manager, compute, CPU. If I go, oh, okay, that goes to another language, but if I can show you here. Okay, that is also iSCSI. Somebody's also doing same lab as we are doing. Then HP to HP or IBM scan. Okay, adding disks maybe. Huh. Okay. So yeah, maybe they don't show that, or there could be a lot of videos on that. There you go. So that's how you can just add a full one disk to SAN, and you keep adding more disks here one by one. It could be also, yeah, 43 hard disk in server slot stock photos. That's what they're saying. So yeah, that's how it is. And you can take out the disk or put the disk inside, right? Okay. So this is what we are imagining or pretending we're doing. But just seeing the picture, we understand that, oh, that's what you mean. So I'm going to go to right click on Win01. I'm going to go to settings. And you can see that right now, this Win01 first machine has only one disk. I'm going to be adding 3 more. And there's a issue with this NVMe thing, right? So all the latest laptops have NVMe disk type. So that does not gets added when the machine is started. So instead of discovering that later, why don't we just shut down Win01 temporarily, add the 3 disks 500 GB each, and then power on the machine again. So let's do that, because you're going to discover that it will let you add, but then it will not show up in the Windows. Windows will not be able to detect it. So this I've seen in previous batches. So instead of wasting time discovering later, I'm just going to go ahead and shut down Win01 temporarily, add the 3 disks properly, and then power it on, and the Windows will detect those disks. Okay, I'm going to shut down temporarily. Okay, I didn't mention that there. So adding the 3 disks, yeah, just temporarily shut down Win01. Win01, add the 3 NVMe disks and power on the VM. That's it. Okay. I'm going to go back to this edit virtual machine settings, and yeah, now I can add the disk. So I'm just going to go way down here to the add button. All right, so add, and then this hard disk is already selected. I'm going to select that, keep it selected, and click next. It is
Sir,
on. Yeah.
so we need to shut down the Win01 as well. After that, we can edit the settings.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. So once we are shut down, and I'm going to click Edit Virtual Machine and click Add. Then hard disk is already selected. Next, NVMe is already selected, or whatever is by default selected. If it's not NVMe, it's okay as well. Normally it's SCSI. Next, create a new virtual disk, right? Next, nothing to change here as well. Here, I'm going to put 500 or 500, right? Why? Because I want the size of the disks that will be used for SAN different from the size of the disk that is just used for operating system, right? So this is just for our identification. Oh, 500 GBs, yeah, these are the SAN disks, all ones. And other 200 GB, yeah, this is the local disk. So that's why just putting the number different for that sole reason. Don't select anything else here and click next. Outside name of the virtual disk is okay. Just remember that this extension .vmdk is the extension for the virtual disk of a virtual machine. And I'm going to click finito. One disk has been added. I need to add 2 more disks. Add. Hard disk is already selected. Next. NVMe is already selected. Next. Create new virtual disk is already selected. Here, I just need to put 500. That's it. Next, that's the outside name. We don't need to change that. Finito. And we do the same drill for the third one. Or you want to add 5 more, you want to add 20 more, up to you. And hard disk, yeah, selected already. Same thing, right? NVMe already selected. Create this. 500. Next. Finito. So now we have 3 disks. Size is different, so we know that we're going to be using that for another purpose if they're not going to be used as local disks, but they're going to be used as iSCSI disks later. I'm going to press O and K. And then I'm just going to power on. $758. Damn for break. You know what? After that, there are much longer steps starting. So I think this is a good time for a break. Not break, break. So I'll just put that other screen here. And class starts 8:18 ish. Right. Muting the mic and video. Resuming now. Okay, so Windows base. Yep, SAN. We're here. We will be creating 3 disks. Oh, did I resume that or not? Yeah. So we will be creating 3 disks on Win01 and the size will be 500 GB 10 provision each. Done. So that's done. Just temporarily shut down Win01. Done. Okay, we've just added that, right? And we will format all 3 disks. Yeah, that's what we need to do. Okay, so there's a comment. Sorry, Farhan. Okay, so yeah, troubleshooting. What I can do is we can just allot some time from the class. After this lab is done, this is we're in the middle of it, right? We're starting it, but it's not very long. I'll try to finish it well before maybe 9:15, 9:30. Then we can give some time to troubleshooting. We can troubleshoot, but obviously there's no guarantee about that. And but Chaudhry Farhan, are you not doing this lab with us? Because
I could not.
Why?
Because I have that error.
No, like yeah. You were saying?
Yes, sir. I have the Intel VT error. I cannot get into this ESXi3.
No, wasn't that error coming that you cannot install Windows, right?
No, Windows. I have taken care of that, but I've been doing that. I mean, the same error you were having in your laptop.
Yeah, but for this lab particular, you don't need to install Windows, so that error should not stop you from doing what we are doing now. So you can do this lab with us.
Okay, sir.
All right. And guys, this is for everyone. Actually, this is we're repeating that because last time I think one other student has asked that, and I said that please do the rest of all the labs with us because now we're not installing Windows. That error was coming Intel VT not available when we were installing Windows or starting the machine. But this lab has nothing to do with that error. So everyone, please follow me and everyone jump in now. Everyone can do that lab. So please do it. Okay. That said, I'm gonna go back here. Oh, so it's only for Farhan. You did not add the 3 disks?
No, sir, I did not. You can continue, sir. I will do it later. No worries.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. So here, guys, 500 GB 3 disks we have added already, and those disks are. I'm going to right click here and go to settings, just confirm, because before the break we did that. Yep, there you go. So the 3 disks are here now, right? And we're good. So they are added as we can consider or pretend that hardware wise we have added them, but now we're going to configure them from inside the Windows. So I'm just going to go inside the Windows machine. All right, so once we once you're inside, now we need to format the disk. So where do we go to format the disks, right? So we're going to go back to we're going to go up first of all on Server Manager inside Windows. We're going to go to Tools, and in the Tools top right we will be going down to Computer Management. Once we go to Tools and go to Computer Management here, then we're going to go down to Disk Management. Well, when you click the Disk Management, you should be seeing this pop up there. Okay. So there's an MBR option, master boot record, or there's a GPT, which is GUID partition table. So the default is GPT, which is okay. Master boot record actually supports up to 4 disks and supports up to 64 GB size, supports lesser partitions, number of partitions and partition size. GPT supports up to 2 terabyte disks, and it's it supports more partitions and bigger size partitions. So GPT is okay, it's by default there. Even if MBR by mistake somebody selects, it's okay for this lab. So I'm just going to press ONK here. So I'm going to press OK here, and the 3 disks are added. I'm going to press this for computer management that I selected from Tools here, computer management, and then maximize. I'm going to maximize the screen. And these are the 3 disks that are available, 499 GB, right? So the 500 GB 3 disks are there. So we're going to be formatting them one by one. They have to be online for us to go ahead. So those who are following, make sure that these are online, right? If they're online, then we're going to go for, I'm going to right click on this side on the gray area of disk 1. And yeah, it says span volume. So either you right click here or you can right click on this unallocated space. It's pretty much the same thing, right? So I'm just going to right click on the unallocated space, but I'm still going to select this new simple volume one by one for each disk to format them to make it usable. So I'm going to right click the first disk, new simple volume, and click next. So there's that 500 GB disk, and I'm going to click next. It's automatically taking E drive as a drive letter. Next, no change here. And then we're going to just name it 101. So logical unit number, or the disk that we will be converting later to iSCSI disk to be used in virtualization environment. So that is 101. Yes, it's going to be performing a quick format, which is okay. And I'm going to click next. So I just gave a name here, nothing else. And click finish. So I'm going to repeat the same thing to the next two disks as well. So that will be LOM02, this will be LOM03, right? So I'm just going to right click the second disk here. I'm going to go for new simple volume here as well. Click next. Yeah, the default size is okay. And click next. It's going to take the next available drive letter. I'll click next, and now it's going to be LOM02, right? So, and next, and finito. Then we're going to go down to third disk, new simple volume, pretty much the same steps for the third disk as well. Next. It's the next available drive letter. Next. And it's going to be 103. Next. And finito. All right. So there's 101, 02, 03, right? So the disks have been formatted. If I go back to the steps here, yep, we've formatted it one by one. Now when I install that feature called iSCSI, there will be some new terminologies that will be showing here that we'll be talking about, and we're going to understand that. So we'll install a feature called iSCSI. So let's just add a feature called iSCSI within the Windows server. I'm going to minimize this. And server manager, I'm still in the server manager. Before we went to tools and then computer management. Now we're going to go for dashboard and then add roles and features. So I'm just going to click that add roles and features here and click next. Role based or feature based installation, select that. Next. It's no change here. I mean, previous page, no change. This page, no change. Just next. Here, we need to search that iSCSI feature. So that feature is living inside file and storage services. I'm going to expand. There's a small arrow here. I'm going to expand that. I'm going to click it and expand that. Then I'm going to click further file and iSCSI services. I'm going to click that too. Now you're going to go down here and you see two options here. The first option is what we're going to select, iSCSI target server. That's exactly what we need. So what is a target? So there's another terminology that we need to understand, and that is, just remember the rule of thumb, right? Target is what? Offers the disk slash storage over the network. The emphasis is on the word target. Okay, then there is another terminology called initiators. So who are initiators, or what are initiators? Initiators are requesters of disk storage offered by the target over the network. Okay, so if you have read this, target offers the disks, initiators request the disk, right? Okay, so in this diagram, can anyone tell me the target and initiator? What machine or machines are target and what machine or machines are initiators? Can you name them? Can you tell me? Who are targets, who are initiators?
Win01 is the target, and the others are the initiators.
Anyone agrees or disagrees with that?
I agree with them.
Also agree.
Anyone else?
Isn't Win01 initiator and then target EX01 and 2 the other?
Anyone agrees or disagrees with this statement?
I agree with this.
With this, the initiator is the Windows server and the target is the different hypervisor.
ESX hypervisors are the target.
Yes.
Yeah, hypervisors are target. Yes.
Wow, we have a majority on this side. I thought we had a majority on the other side. Okay. Okay, guys, so target is what? Offers the disk over the network. Initiators is what? Requests the disks when the disks are available now. It requests the disks over the network. Maybe it's clear now. Anyone wants to try again?
Okay,
Or
it means that the first one is right. The target is the one who offer the disk. It means that who offer the disk, it's I think it's a Windows server.
anyone agrees or disagrees?
Sorry?
Yeah. Okay,
Sorry?
so yeah, you were saying?
Yes, the target is Windows server who is offering the disk, and the initiator who is the host using the disk. It means that the hypervisor will use this disk, but physically it's Windows server who hosts the disk.
Okay, guys, so there you go. Yeah, so those who said Win01 is a target, yes, because target does what? Offers the disks over the network. Yes, the naming they chose a little. Target is always where, it's kind of a destination, right? Where some objective ends. That's the target. But here it starts. So target is this, and initiators or initiators request the disks, right? So initiators would be all these hypervisors who's going to initiate the request for the disks over the network, right? So that's what you're going to see now when we are configuring SAN iSCSI, that we will have to define target and we will have to define initiators at that time. So we need to then remember the IP address of the initiators, and we need to remember the IP address of the target. So 10 is offering disks to 1, 2, and 3 machines, right? I'm going to go back here and let's actually start doing this. So isolate target server, right? So once you select that, that's it. Next, finish. Next, install. What were the steps here? If anyone who kind of stayed behind, you can still follow these steps. I did mention 500 GB, 3 disks. We'll be creating 3 disks on Win01 and size. Yeah, I mentioned everything. So these are all the steps that we have just done. Not all, but whatever were done are here. I'll go to the machine here, and the iSCSI feature is being installed. That's gonna help us convert the disks, local disks, to iSCSI disks to be shared over the network with the initiators or the hypervisors, because hypervisors are the ones that are going to request the disks over the network. Okay, I think it's done. Yeah, installation succeeded. And I'm going to click close. Right? And once that is done, initiator feature, iSCSI feature has been installed, then we're going to go to server manager. And this time we're going to go to the last one, File and Storage Services. We're going to click File and Storage Services, where you're going to see the second last as iSCSI. So we're going to click iSCSI, and it says there are no iSCSI virtual disks. To create an iSCSI virtual disk, start the new iSCSI virtual disk wizard. So that's it. We're going to click this link to start the process of. I'm going to click that, and it starts like this, and you can see the 4 disks in Win01. First disk is the Windows machine disk. We're not going to touch that, obviously. We have the other 3 disks to be offered over the network as iSCSI disk. Yep.
So it says to create, so we need to click that. I missed that part, sorry.
No problemo. This one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you have to click that. Okay. And so once we click that, go for eDrive. Okay, guys, so here we need to understand that first we're going to convert eDrive. We're going to define our target, that who's offering the disk, which machine is offering the disk. We're going to define the initiators, which machines are going to be requesting the disk. And we're going to share this disk with those 3 initiators. Then we're going to go for the second disk and share this disk with the initiators. Then we're going to go for the third disk and share this disk with the initiators. Initiators could have, we have 3 initiators, right? 3 hypervisors that are going to be requesting the disk. It could be 200, 2000 hypervisors or 2000 initiators that could be requesting the disks, right? So we're going to start with by selecting just eDrive, and we're going to click next. All right, so remember the naming convention we gave there, 101. So the first is that needs to be shared over the network with the specified initiators. Right? Next. Okay, it says that, hey, you want to use the full disk or you want to use half of it and maybe extend to the rest later. I'm going to say I'm going to use a full 500 GB, right? Second thing is, you know what we were talking about, thin provision and thick provision. So Windows also calls that, or uses the same concept, but it calls thick provision as fixed disk and thin provision as dynamically expanding. So we're still selecting thin provision, which is already selected actually, dynamically expanding. We're going to keep it like this and click next. Now it says that, oh, you're going to offer disks over the network to other machines. Okay, so you have to name a target. I mean, this is going to be the target that's going to be actually offering the disks over the network. So we have to name it. So it says new iSCSI target. Yes, I want to create a target on this machine, sorry. So yeah, nothing here. It's already selected. Click next. And you need to give it some name. It could be any name. So maybe we can just say target -1 disks - your first name. So it could be any name here, target 1 disks. Now, suppose, guys, we are adding here 3 disks, right? Suppose in a production environment, we added 3 disks and then they say, hey, we need actually 200 more disks. What do you do? So we come back to this target. We keep adding, suppose we add 200 disks here, right? So we can add 200 disks to the same target. So whichever initiator is connected to the target named target 1 disks Amir will get the newly added 200 disks as well over the network. So the thing is, once you define a target, you can keep on adding disks to that, and whichever machines were already connected to this target will see those newly added disks at whatever time in future you add them. They're going to just see them as well. And those disks will be available for the initiators to be used. So we just have to define target first time. And we can define multiple targets. Suppose one target is for one target with 200 disks is for sales department, suppose. Second target you create for marketing department with 500 disks. Third target you create for administration department, 300 disks, right? So you can create different targets, different hypervisors could connect to that if you want. So you can do all that. Okay, we have given a name to the target. I'm going to click next. Now it says click add to specify the iSCSI initiators that will access this iSCSI virtual disk, because this is the disk E that we are converting it to iSCSI and then offering it to who. So we need to put the name, DNS name of those hypervisors, or we need to put the IP address of those hypervisors. I'm going to click add here, and you have to be very, very careful here. Like, just don't put the wrong IP address, that's all. Okay, so it says that, can you identify the machine that's going to request the disk? So there are several ways to do that. Query initiator computer for ID, or we can go down here. There's an IQN value, which is a storage name of the machine or storage address of the machine. But we have some easier ways as well. We can give the DNS name. Remember the DNS name? Your first name, ESXi01, right? That's the DNS name. But there's a MAC address. But the easiest one is IP address. We just need to tell which machine is going to request the disks over the network. So the easiest way and quickest way to do it is by IP address. So 192.1. So it's the first machine, right? First, second, third hypervisor. So what is the IP of the first hypervisor? 192.168.2.1. Okay. So I'm going to go there and put 192.168.200.1. At one time, we can put one IP. So I'm just going to press O and K. Make sure you selected IP address. Make sure it is not 193. Make sure it is not 168, right? So I'm going to click add. And I'm going to go back to IP address. Some students actually by mistake forget to change this. It remains as IQN. And then they put the IP here and it's not going to work. So you have to go down, select IP address, and then put the correct IP. So what is the IP of the second machine? 192.168.200.2. Okay. So I'm going to go for 192.168.200.2. Make sure this column shows IP address and this value column shows the correct IP address value. I'm going to click add for the third one. If I had 15, 20, 30 hypervisors, I would have kept on going, right? IP address. And, oh, okay, what's the IP address of the third machine? 192.168.200.3. Okay. 192.168.200.3. All right. One more very, very critical thing here, guys. Make sure that 200.1, the 1 and the 2 and the 3, it's in capital letter, right? It cannot be lowercase. It has to be capital, right? If you put in lowercase, just change it to capital.
Sir, they're digits. They are not letters. So.
Oh, you didn't get the joke, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, you got trapped here. Maybe I thought that you will get it, or others will get it. So, it was obviously it's. How can you? There's no. There are case sensitive numbers.
Where's the proof that she's following you?
Okay, so yeah, but okay, that was just a joke, guys. So let's click next. But it was so serious, right? Cool, man. Okay. Anyway, click next. Now the next thing is enable CHAP and enable reverse CHAP. So what is CHAP? Challenge Handshake Authentication Protocol. Challenge Handshake. So what is that? Pretty much a security authentication protocol. And where is it used? So normally it says, oh, enable CHAP, put username password here, put your own defined username password. The main thing about this is that if your network, you think there is more security required, this is just a second layer of security you can put there. But it gets annoying later because when you are requesting this, then you have to put the password that I put here. When you're offering the disk, you have to put this password, username, password there. So sometimes you put the correct username, password, and they still pop up, keep popping up again. That's the one thing that is annoying. Second thing is that they are in clear text, which means they're not that secure. They're not even encrypted. So if there was someone with a sniffer, right? Sniffer is that software that can grab data from a machine, and then you can see what kind of data was traveling from that machine. It could be an email as well. Anyone knows a very popular sniffer software name? Anyone knows sniffer software name?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what is that?
It's a monitoring software basically. It
No,
can show
but any sniffer software that is famous, any company who makes that.
SolarWinds, Wireshark.
Wireshark, exactly. SolarWinds also, but Wireshark is very famous for sniffing data. So suppose your friend is sending an email and your sniffer software catches whatever data is coming out of his or her laptop. So you can even check that. Don't try this at home. Okay, anyway, so the thing is that we don't need the extra layer of security. We know that our private network is secure already. We don't need to, put the values here. I'm going to ignore this and click next. Now, guys, what did we do? We have defined a target. We have given a name for the target. This is the name, right? And we have defined the initiators as well, that who will be getting the disk. So whichever initiator IP addresses you have defined here, other than this, no machine can request the disks being offered by this target. Only those initiators whose IP addresses have been added here can get the disks from this target. Or in future, suppose you get 5 more hypervisors. Come here, add those IP addresses first, and then yes, the target will be able to offer the disks to those hypervisors as well. For now, only these 3 guys get the disk. So that's it. Now the good thing is for the second and third disk, we don't have to define a target. We don't have to define initiators. We just add the second and third disk to this target, and it will be automatically available for these 3 hypervisors or initiators, right? Okay, guys, I'm going to click create here, right? Close it. And so now I'm going to go to the top right here and new iSCSI virtual disk. Top right, new iSCSI virtual disk, right? And this time we're going for C drive. Is that correct? Anyone agrees with that?
F.
Nope.
We are going for F.
Good. Okay. We're going for F.
F.
So exactly, you're right. So we're gonna go for F, and this time we're not gonna define target. We're not gonna define initiators. So that's a good thing. F drive, you select it, go next. We're gonna go for, we're gonna put the name according to the naming convention we're following. 2. Okay, next. Yeah, we're using the full size. We can choose to use half of it or 80% of it, whatever. But we're gonna go for full size. It is already thin provisioned or dynamically expanding, which is good. Next. There you go. We don't have to define a new target. Technically, we can, but we don't have to because we're going to add all the disks to the same target. So all the disks under this target could be given to the initiators. So this is already selected. That's good. Next. So target initiators are already selected. We don't have to define them again. So the process is short now. And click create and 8. All right. Close. And then we go, I was gonna say, guys, if your disk doesn't show up in the hypervisors for some reason, then we will have to visit your area here and we have to check either you have not put the IP address here or your IP address itself is wrong, right? I'm gonna go ahead again. Anyway, I'm just saying now, if later you were not able to connect the disk to the initiators. Okay, third disk, we still need to add. I'm going to click new iSCSI virtual disk. I'm going to go for G. Next. 103. Next. 500 GB. That's all we need to do on this page. Next. And the good thing is it's already selected. Next. That's it, right? 3 and 8. Close. All right, guys. So it now says not connected because we haven't initiated the request from the hypervisors to get those disks from this target. So now that's the next step. But as far as the target configuration is concerned, we're done with it. Now we're going to go for the initiator configuration. So, we will install the visual card. We will convert the local disk to iSCSI it is. Yeah, done. iSCSI protocol is used. Okay. We will convert the local disk, Windows disk to iSCSI disks. Let's go to hypervisors and start the process of requesting the disks from the target over the network. Okay. All right. All is well. Okay. So here, let's go to hypervisors and start the process of requesting disks from the target over the network. So let's go to each hypervisor one by one, and we're going to configure that. Okay, so here, I'm going to go for ESXi1, not from here, obviously, from within the Google Chrome. So we're going to remotely connect to ESXi1, connect the disk, then 2, then 3, right? So, okay, I'm going to open the Google Chrome. I'm going to connect to ESXi1. I think that's the link for that, or just go for https:// and it's already cached in your browser. So I'm going to click username. It already pops up root, or just type the word root, and the class password is Aziz. Okay, we're inside. Right? And we're gonna request those 3 disks. If there were 300 disks, so in one go, 300 disks get mapped here, or 3,000 disks, right? Whatever is behind that target. Okay, I'm gonna go to storage. And I'm going to go for, first of all, I'm going to show you, or let's check what is in the devices. How many devices do we see here? Guys, everyone see 2 devices or more or less than 2?
2 devices.
2, right? Okay, cool. Okay, now once we are done successfully, we are supposed to have 3 more devices other than this, right? If we are okay with that, right? So, excuse me. We're gonna go for adapters, and that's where you see software iSCSI, right? So adapters and software iSCSI. So let's click that, and obviously we're gonna click enable. So now we will be able to request the disks over the network once. Yeah, there you go. So we did not use CHAP in the configuration. We don't need the extra layer of security. Second thing is, we're not adding VM kernel NIC yet. I'm going to be explaining that later, but one-liner for VM kernel NIC is that it offers networking configuration for the advanced features like vMotion, like FT, fault tolerance, that is, and vSAN. So we're not doing that now, but later we will be doing that. So add static target and dynamic target. Static target, I have mentioned that we can have more than one target as well. Suppose its sales department target has 200 disks, marketing target has a marketing department target has 500 days, suppose. So if you have more than one target, you go for static target, then you select which target to connect to and how many disks you get under that target. But we're going to go for dynamic target because there's just one target there. So when we click, go ahead and click the dynamic target, right? And then which IP address belongs to the dynamic target? We all know that. 200 dot. What is the IP address of that target? 200 dot. Anyone knows?
10.
Cool.
10.
192.168.200.10. So all we need to do is give that IP, correct IP of the target. And well, if you had firewall on, that you have to add that port 3260 between the initiators and the target. Through this port, they communicate with each other. So if the IP address has been given, let's click Save Configuration. Right? Save configuration. Now, what we need to do is refresh 2 times. It's not exactly 2 times. Rescan. Actually, if you can go down to this 65, VMHBA 65, rescan, refresh. Okay, once we have done these two, we can go to devices, and what do you see there? Ta-da! It doesn't show. Okay, so refresh here. Ta-da! No. Ta-da! I want to time it, right? Ta-da! Ta-da! Oh, there you go. Ta-da! Okay, so 3 devices. MSFT, MSFT, and MSFT, and they are all 499. Yep, exactly 500 GB, right? So there you go. 3 devices have been added from the target Win01 to the first initiator ESXi01. Now we're going to go for the second and third and do the same thing. So I'm going to open the next tab, connect to the next hypervisor, ESXi2. Now you know the drill. Root, small ABC, capital C, capital 3, large capital 3. All right. Okay, storage. And then first we see the devices. Yeah, obviously there will be 2, right? Now we go to adapters. And then we go to software SCSI. Right? Then we go to enabled. So we're just initiating the request to get the disks. We're going to go for the last one, add dynamic target, and give the address of the target. 192.168.200.10. Target IP remains the same, obviously, right? Save configuration. Then it is kind of a refresh, rescan. Our best friend recent tasks tells us what's going on, what's running, right? Let me go to the devices. Ta-da! No. Refresh. Ta-da! No. Ta-da! No. Ta-da! Oh, there you go. I didn't time it again, but yeah, there you go. So we got the second one as well. We're gonna go for the third one now. Tab number 3 and ESXi03. Right. Small ABC, capital ABC, shift 1, 2, 3 without shift 1, 2, and 3. All is well. Okay. So here, I hope it goes all well. I have okay. Yeah, that's where the third machine is. And since I'm here, what do? Yes, you're right. I change the RAM. Okay, so I go to edit settings, and then because the underlying host has 4 GB and I give 8 GB, that is not good. So I give it 2 GB if ever I start that. So should be less than the host. All right. So we go to storage and then we go to, you know, the drill. Devices is 2. We don't even have to see that every time. Adapters, we just go straight to software SCSI enabled. Add dynamic target 192, 168, 200 dot 10. All right or all wrong. All right. Okay. We still have obviously much more stuff to do. So refresher is gonna even when it scans, what do we go to? I'll go to devices and refresh. All right, that's good. So that shows okay, that would be the second screenshot. So iSCSI wants showing, right? So I'm gonna go for the screenshot now. Those are falling and take their own. Those are not, take this one. And then we go for screenshot 2. And hey, what was it? iSCSI, yeah. iSCSI wants showing. Today I was just watching one job announcement, and that was purely VMware in US. Everything VMware. They haven't touched anything else on the planet. Only VMware. Okay. There are many companies who have just VMware or who have cloud plus VMware. Okay. So that is the second one, and we go to, so what was our target? Let's go to hypervisor and the disk from the target over the network. So start the process of requesting the disk. So once the disks are showing, yeah.
Sorry, sir, but I think you have zoomed in, or is it me?
No, it's when I added more data here, so it went to small.
Okay, sorry, sir. It was my mistake. Sorry.
No problem at all. All right. So what we need to do is once the disks are showing, once the disks are showing, then let's create data stores. Okay, that would be another slide. I'll give the details. Data stores on each of the ones. So that is so if I go back to the diagram here, I had created this blue one to show data stores, but otherwise these are just raw disks, like empty disks that you go to the shop and you purchase a disk without formatting it. Not external disk, but even when you purchase external disk and first time when you connect, so it is formatted. So when the LUNs are, or the shared disks over the network are mapped to the hypervisors, so they are raw. You cannot put data on top of it unless you format it. And for obviously, we're going to be formatting with Which file system? Anyone knows? We're gonna format with which file system? Otherwise, just choose done for ice because it is so. Yes, we're done. But which file system?
NTFS.
NTFS. We're gonna format this with a VMware file system called NTFS, right? Anyone agrees or disagrees?
Yes, sir.
VMFS.
It's exactly, it's VMFS. It's not NTFS. NTFS for Windows and VMFS for VMware. So VMFS, and then we need to, so the file system that will be formatted with is VMFS. So all the advanced features of VMware will be showing there. And then the data store will be created. But this time we're creating the data store, so we're going to name them accordingly, right? So that data store naming convention we need to come up with, and that would be, so we're going to be creating data store 1. So where is it coming from? It's coming from the Windows machine, right? So W Windows Win01, right? So W1 and data store 1. Actually, ones start with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So data store 0, no, okay, 1, sorry. And then LUN 1. So we can just name it like that. So all the LUNs are coming from a SAN source called Windows Win01, right? They're all coming from one source. So W1 would still be the name, but the data store number would change to 2 and LUN 2, right? And then W1 DS3 and LUN 3. All right. So that's how we're gonna put the naming convention. Okay, one more thing to understand about this data store that we're about to create. Remember one thing, and that is this mapped disk. Yep. Oh, I thought that was a question. Okay, so somebody coughed. It's okay. We cough. So yeah, guys, what we need to understand, and yeah, now somebody, this was the actual cough. I don't know what was the last one. So maybe guys, can we all mute or all right. Okay, here. So yeah, what we need to do is, what we need to understand is that this map disk for LUN is connected to this hypervisor. This same thing is connected to this hypervisor. This same thing is connected to this hypervisor, right? So suppose we connect from E6I1 and then we create a data store. Now data store is created on top of LUN1. LUN1 is connected to all 3 hypervisors. So if you create a data store from E6I1, it's gonna data store will show in E6I1, but this same data store will show automatically in E6I2 and E6I3 as well. So if you connect from the second hypervisor and create a data store, it will automatically show in E6I1 and 3. If you connect from 3 and create a data store, it will automatically show in 2 and 1, right? Because it is being created on the LUN or shared disk over the network that is mapped to all 3 hypervisors, the same disk. Same is the thing with this, that this disk is connected to all 3 and this disk is connected to all 3, right? Or all 200 hypervisors, if there were 200 hypervisors. All right, so we're going to connect from any hypervisor and create a data store, and it's going to show up automatically in all 3 hypervisors, or the other 2 as well. That's what I need you to understand. All right, so let us go ahead and, so I am connected to E6I1 for no particular reason. I could connect from 2 and do that. Do what? We're about to create a data store on those LANs, right? So how do we do that? Storage, we're still in storage in ESXi1. If you're connected from ESXi2, you can still follow the same steps. If you're connected to 3, you can still follow the same steps. So storage, and then we go for new data store, right? Once we go to the new data store, remember the naming convention. So W1 DS1 1 right? Okay, so I'm gonna Control A, Control C this, copy this, right? And because I'm gonna use the same naming convention for the next 2 data stores, so I'll copy paste that. Next. Now it says on which one do you want to create that? I'll just select the first one, right? So I'll select the first one here, and next it says here select a device on which to create a new VMFS partition. So it's about to format it with VMFS partition, right? So next, and now it says, hey, you want to use the full disk or custom? Suppose I go for custom. I'm going to go for full disk, just showing you what is custom, and then you can just go for this. Like when you click here, then I want to go for half of it, suppose, or 75% of it, or 90% of it, and the rest I don't want to use that. So the usable area where you can put the data, where you can put the virtual machines will be this, and the rest you can maybe extend later, right? So it's up to you how you want to go for it. I'm going to go back and go for use full disk. It's going to be very useful after you use full disk. Okay, so let's click next. That's it, finito. And it's gonna format. It's just saying that all the contents will be gone here once you erased it. So yes. Okay, our best friend recent task. Does it say anything? I think it's done already. Okay. So if I go to data stores, I see first data store created here in ESXi1, but I should be seeing this data store in ESXi2 automatically. So if I go to the next tab and go to the data stores, so I don't see that. I'm gonna click virtual machines, just refresh it and come back here. No, I don't see that. So where's the data store? If I go to adapters, refresh, rescan, devices, refresh, rescan, and go to data stores. And there you go. It's not there. What? Okay, I'll refresh the whole browser, like for this page. I'll refresh the whole page. Now I see. So I didn't create it here by clicking new data store, but I did create it on ESXi1. It's supposed to show here. And same for ESXi3. If I go to data stores here,
Sorry,
and
sir.
refresh,
I
yeah.
still can't see it.
You see it in one?
Yeah, just
The
only
first one you
one.
see, right? Yeah, then it's a matter of time. For some, it will take more time. For some, it will take less time. Like keep refreshing the browser page, the whole page, and rescan as well and refresh as well, but it may take more time for few. One student, fewer students in previous batches, they had to ultimately restart. Don't restart now, but they have to restart the whole hypervisor and then it showed. But let's create all 3 hypervisors now. It didn't show for my third one as well. So let's go for the second data store. I'm going to be creating on any one of the hypervisor I can create that. So I'm going to go for 2 now, ESXi2, just to prove my point, right? Otherwise, I could create all 3 from ESXi1. I'm just going to ESXi2 to create, and it should show automatically on other 3. Even if you want to create ESXi on other hypervisor, the same data store, it's not going to let you create. Anyway, so I'm going to go from ESXi2 I'm going to create new data store, but choose just any hypervisor and just follow the steps. Okay, create new VMFS data store. Click next. Now you can see that clearly only 2 ones are left. One is already taken care of. So W1 is the same source, so we don't change that, right? We go for DS2, data store 2 on LAN 2. You know, that question could arise, which disk is LAN 2 if we want to just check from that target. So other than this whole alphanumeric address, we have no other idea to know that which LAN 1 there is actually LAN 1 here or LAN 2 there, LAN 2 here, right? We're just giving name to the next available LAN here right now. Okay, LAN 2, DS2 LAN 2. So data store 2 on LAN 2 next. We have selected that. We just want to use full disk. We know that what custom do, which is okay. Next and finish, right? Second data store appears in ESXi2 hypervisor. I'm going to go for third hypervisor to create the third data store, although I could have created all 3 from anyone. And on the third hypervisor, the other 2 are not showing.
Excuse me, sir.
Same here, right? So,
Excuse me, please. The option to create a new data store that we have on device type, is it different from this one on data store tab?
the device type, when I go to new data store,
The device tab. If you click on device,
okay,
you have again new data store. Is it the
yeah,
same?
it's the same exact.
Okay.
But what I was saying was to compare from server manager, iSCSI, and this, right? So which one here is actually LAN 1 there? Which
Matching
one
to
here?
yes, that we don't know. We can know. Yeah.
Yeah, we cannot know that. Okay, so I'm on ESXi3 just to prove points. So I'm just gonna if I go to data stores, I don't see the other 2, and I will ultimately, or I will have to just restart the whole hypervisor to do that. Ultimately, if refresh this scan doesn't work, I'm going to go for new data store. This is the third one. I'm going to go for create new VMFS data store, add an extend to existing data store. So you want to extend a existing data store or expand an existing VMFS data store. Extend, you can add another LAN to that. Expand is within the same LAN. You can just add more. If it offers more space, then occupy that. And mount NFS is a network file system, NFS. So this is any Linux machine based disk that you want to create a data store on. So you can go through this wizard, and if you have in the network a Linux machine, then you can create a data store on the shared disk of that Linux machine by going through this wizard, right? Okay, anyway, we're gonna stick to our LAN-based data store that is coming from Software SAN. So next. And then I'll control V, paste again. This time it is third data store on third LAN. And only one LAN is remaining here. Next, use full disk is okay. It's going to be useful. Next, finito, right? And yes, so maybe all 3 appear. Oh, there you go. All 3 appear because it refreshed it for creating the first one or third one, and that refresh actually got all the other disks as well. If I go to ESXi2, there are only 2 disks here, so maybe I go to devices and refresh, rescan, and then go to data store and then refresh the whole browser. Oh, yeah, all 3 are there. It's a matter of time, actually, you know. Keep refreshing, keep refreshing, keep refreshing. And okay, maybe I refresh the browser directly straight without refreshing rescan. Otherwise, until they all appear. Oh, no, Okay, devices, fresh, rescan. Now go to data store and refresh the page. How many see all three? On all three.
All three.
On all three.
Yeah.
So 3 hypervisors, 3 devices. All three see on all three.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good, good, very good. Everyone see all 3 data stores on all 3 hypervisors? So maybe others are trying. Oh, okay, Jules says yes. Oh, that was a previous yes, maybe. Sinchana says yes, Roy says yes. Moy says yes. So total 4 people see all 3 on all 3. So 3 devices on 3 hypervisors. Jules says yes. Okay. Tyler says yes. Cool. I'll say yes. Cool. So yeah, that's great, guys. And so far we're going okay. So that would be our 3rd screenshot. Those who are not following can take a screenshot of my screen. Those who are following can take screenshots of their own screen. So what we can say, data stores created on 3 data stores created on 3 lawns. So I'll take a screenshot of that. 3 data stores created on 3 lawns. 3 data stores created on 3 lawns. Screenshot 3. Oh, that is screenshot 3 as well. Wow, 3 data stores. Today's lucky number is 3 data stores created on. And I'm, saying that all is well. That is also 3, 3 Idiots, the movie. Okay, so 3 data stores created on 3 lawns. And I have, why don't we just go for more 3s here? I'm just kidding. So let's just keep going. This paves the way for the vCenter, the most critical virtual machine of this course, because then our whole environment is ready to welcome the vCenter. Well, there's one more task left, but as far as this is concerned, so screenshot 3 data stores created on 3 lines. All right. Okay. One more step that I was saying that we need to take. Let's create a store on each of the lines. Oh, we create data stores from any of the hypervisor, and it should appear on other hypervisors automatically. Okay. Yeah, that was what we did. One more thing is, let's add 9 nicks. Why 9 nicks? Let's add 9 nicks to only ESXi02 and ESXi03. Why? We will be installing advanced features like vMotion that helps us migrate the virtual machine, right? And fault tolerance, FT, that creates active passive virtual machine, vSAN, virtual SAN, etc. And we would like to implement these features with vendor best practices. So for that, we need to have extra network cards. We will provide a new pair of NICs to each advanced feature. So the feature created traffic will not overwhelm existing NICs, and each advanced feature will have its own set of 2 network cards to regulate its network traffic. So it's all about network traffic. Suppose you created vMotion or virtual machine migration feature. You've installed that, right? And you've assigned 2 network cards to that. But then another advanced feature called fault tolerance. You assign the same 2 network cards to this advanced feature, which you assign to this feature. So all the traffic generated from migration and all the traffic generated from network traffic generated from active passive virtual machines, that traffic will be using only 2 network cards that were there on the hypervisor. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to give 2 new network cards to this feature, 2 separate network cards for this feature, 2 separate network cards for this feature. Why? Just to implement vendor best practices, where it says that, hey, why don't you just give separate 2 network cards for network traffic generating advanced features, right? So if we have more network cards, then we can give, and I can show you how to do that. Suppose in a production environment, you go in you get a job in the company, and you see there that they're about to purchase physical servers, and they're just purchasing 4 network cards with it. So you can actually tell that it would be better to have 8 network cards or 12 network cards if possible in a physical server. So when we implement these advanced features, we will be allotting 2 dedicated network cards for each feature, right? Why 2? Because then we can offer load balancing as well as failover features to that. We can create a NIC team of the network cards, right? So that's why, the second thing is why we're adding 9 NICs now, because we are adding all 9 NICs now, and well, because the NIC addition requires a restart of the hypervisor. So why don't we just add all now and restart once, instead of when we are about to implement vMotion only, and we need to add 2 new network cards. We do add that, but then we have to restart at that time. Then 1 restart for this, adding 2 network cards for this, and 1 restart for that. So we're avoiding all 6 or 7 restarts by just adding it now. So the whole course, we don't have to restart the hypervisor for that particular reason of adding new network cards. Okay, so that much explained. So we're supposed to have total of 10 network adapters, because 1 is already there, and 9 more we're going to add on E6i2 and E6i3. Then we're ready. Our lab is ready for vCenter, the most critical virtual machine. Okay. Although technically, if we don't add 9 network cards, our lab is still ready for. But this is just to introduce vendor best practices, right? So I'm going to go for E6i2. Remember, E6i2 and 3 only, because we're going to be doing all the experiments on 2 and 3, right? So I'm going to go to 2 and right click here to add 9 more network cards. I'm going to go down settings. Number 15, add a network adapter, right? I'm going to select that. Finish it. it gets added, but we need to put them on the same VMnet as well. VMnet 15. Okay. Okay. So now I have to add 8 more network cards. So adding network router, finishing, custom, VMnet 15, add network router, finish, custom. You're going to be adding network cards in your dream as well. Okay. Network router, finish, custom, 15.
Sir,
Yeah.
when I'm adding the network card, so I send the screenshot in the WhatsApp group, if you can check. So it's showing me this message, so I just need to press OK.
So guys, this is the message here. Yeah, it's removable this. It's not even concerning that, but sometimes it pops up. You can click do not show and then press OK.
Okay.
Or
Yeah.
just press OK if you've already done it. Yeah. All right. So 3, 4, 5, 4 more for me. Network finish. Custom VMnet 15. Network adapter finish. Custom VMnet 15. Wow, it's boring, right? Okay. One more. Total done. All right. My ESXi2 is done. ESXi3. You know what? If you are done adding 9 more network cards, restart that hypervisor. Yep.
Excuse me, sir, you added 10 or 9? I saw like you added 9.
Added 9, but total are 10 because one was already there. So
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Sir, is it only on hypervisor 2 or N3?
Yeah, only hypervisor 2 and 3.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So I'm just gonna add 9 more. One is already there. So adding on third, on hypervisor 3, finishing, custom, 15. Adding, not to finishing, custom, 15. Adding. Information customly and active 50 and information customly and active. Custom finish custom and active.
So we need to restart or shut down and start again.
Yep, restart.
Restart is.
Mm-hmm. 2 more. To finish custom and 15 and only 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Okay, so I will and start this power restart guest. I think I did not restart this exactly. Maybe I did. I don't know. I'll restart again. All right. So we have added the 9 nicks as well. And all right. So now guys, the vCenter, yeah. So the vCenter or VCSA virtual machine, that takes like 45 minutes to install. So we can start now, and we can keep doing it till 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, because you have nothing else to do tomorrow, right? So you're all free, yeah, no class, right? So we can do till 1 o'clock, 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. now. So let's prepare the lab for that, right? So,
Sure, sir.
silence means agree.
Yeah.
Sure.
You don't have class as well, I think that's why.
I have office tomorrow. Come on. So, no, I was gonna say silence means yes. But you already said yes, so you're representing everyone because no one else is saying anything. So let's go ahead till 2 a.m. and install VCSA. Yes. Okay. Oh, why do you think I'm kidding here? Okay, I'm kidding. So yeah, let's it's gonna take 45 minutes just to install the VCSA, so we can now talk about I'm gonna create that space on upload for these 3 screenshots today. And so guys, about that error, was it coming only when we were installing Windows, or is it coming, that Intel VT is not there? Is it coming for anything else we have done other than Windows to anyone? Like, what I'm saying is that if that error came only because when we were installing Windows, so Windows is not even that important in VMware labs, right? So if your laptops somehow with so much troubleshooting are not still supporting this, then we can still ignore that error. You don't have to really create that Windows in your VMware environment. You saw how it's done. You can continue with the rest of the purely VMware related labs without any problem. You should be able to do that. So your suggestion?
Sir?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just a concern. So you're saying for that portion, we have to install another virtual machine within the virtual machine. We're getting that error. We could just ignore, and then we'll continue to do the rest of the lab without any issue further on during this course.
Yes, because there are much more critical labs that needs to be understood and done. Installing Windows is something not even that important, and it's not complicated, and it doesn't require a lot of skills. The rest of the labs really require a lot of skills and pretty complicated. So what I'm saying is, if some of the students were not able to install Windows inside, you still saw each and every step. You have the video that you can always relate to. Once you either figure out how to troubleshoot that and fix that issue, or if you get another machine, just try that one lab yourself. But because of that, don't stop the rest of the labs and continue with all the next labs.
Okay, no problem. So I'll just continue today's lab tomorrow, so
Exactly.
I can get up to speed, because I was trying to find a solution, but I'm not finding any.
And I did try to search and ask friends. They're saying that sooner or later there will be a solution, but then I thought that, hey, why are we stopping? This is not even that important lab, right? The more important labs are the next ones. This one, software SAN, is very, very important. The next one after VCSA is installed, from VCSA and next, all labs are very, very important. Much more important than Windows installation, right? So we don't lose anything. You saw how the steps are. We don't have to really do that if we can't do that. Obviously, technically, it's out of our hand if there's some bug that is stopping it, and it's in those new laptops. You can change the laptops, get some older ones, and yes, it's going to work. So, but we don't have to stop here for that. And please continue and reach up to this level where we are on the labs before the next class. That's the message. That's a request from myself to everyone in the class. Yep. Any questions? Jules says in the chat, sir, can you share again the link for vCenter? Hey, I did. Okay. I think I put it in the WhatsApp as well. Let me just grab it from there. Guys, any questions? Those who are not able to install Windows, yes, I am looking for solutions. We will keep looking for solution, but my suggestion, not suggestion, you have to do other labs, right? But those other labs are much more important than this one. So if there's a Windows we cannot install, ignore it, go ahead. But we will still try to look for solution throughout the course. If we find it, then yeah, go ahead and install the Windows. Anytime you can do that in the same environment.
Sayed, I have one question.
Yep.
That ESIX3, I allocated the space 200 GB to it by shutting it down. But when I go to the storage, under storage, I see SSD and I see capacity only there 22 GB. Why would that be?
Yeah, so initially, normally it gives 71 GB space, and we can always expand it to 200. So initially, they have made that new rule there in VMware that initially give less space, and then when they want to expand, they can expand. Right? So what we're going to do, we can use what we have available, but yours is saying 22 GB. That is weird. That's the first time I'm hearing that. So what you can install there is E6i3. We're not going to be installing much there. You can install still Windows there, but 22 GB is not good. I think there's some misconfiguration at some certain point. You can even delete that, just that particular hypervisor, and reinstall it again with 200 GB and then check it out. And then just follow the full video. Yeah.
So there's no way to increase the capacity. I mean,
yeah, we can expand that capacity and so if we go here, it is a bit tricky when we are doing it, but I have to first test it myself, because once I did that, it was okay. But then there were a bit longer steps to do that. So what we can do is, before installing vCenter, we can do that in next class as well. But we should be able to increase the storage space. Yeah, you were saying? There you go.
Yeah, I selected that, but it's taking to that. If you click that, so yeah. So.
And then extend to existing. We have a data store. Expand. Okay, first increase the size of an existing data store by adding a new extent on another disk. Another disk. We don't have another disk, right? So we can't go for that. Increase the size of an existing data store by growing an existing extent into an adjacent free space. Well, we can check that out. Nope. That is also looking for another disk.
Yeah.
And that is also looking no devices with free space. This means that the first, first local disk that was chosen was given only this. I actually remember doing that with, I guess with a command, and I was able to use the full thing. I have to dig it out and I will share it, and then we can all do that. But yes, this is a good question, that why is it when we give 200 GB, it's just choosing 71 basically, or 91, sorry, or 65 for some. So it's different. So yeah, I'll be showing that command. I'll just have to dig it out and then we can expand it. But 22 GB is too less. So if you can't change it any other way, then we have to reinstall before the next class. I think you can do that easily.
Okay, sure. I'll go through it. Thank you.
Okay. And that's an interesting question. So that's a task for me to do. Okay, guys. So if there are any other questions, let me know. Otherwise, rightly can suspend guest, and I'll try to get the video up as soon as possible so everyone can follow that video. It's purely VMware, which does not actually require Intel VTX related, things. Hopefully it does not, because this I'm seeing only in this batch new course, new laptops. Okay, guys, let's suspend. I'm just gonna open that, create that folder now, and you can upload 3 screenshots for today. So next class, obviously, everyone has to be on the same page, so we could all start together the VCSA. It takes 45 minutes, or with your fast machines, maybe 30 minutes, but it's a big software, and then a lot of just a couple of more million steps after that. But each step is very, very important, and new concepts, obviously. Okay, guys, so I'll just quickly go for this. Pause the video now.